Hello, this is part two of Kokan. I'm going to list it on my list of part two because my roommate ruined my last video. Uh, you know, when you're in a three-card Monte situation where they're ripping you off and you don't even know, most people that play three-card Monte don't realize it's a scam. They think they just legitimately lost because they didn't pick the red card. So they don't blame the guy playing that's scamming them, that's doing the three-card Monte. And they don't blame the guy that's the sidekick that did win and suckered you in to play more and lose more money. And and you don't blame them because they lost money too, but they won. So you don't see them as being in on the con. And that's the news. That's the newspapers, CNN, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, Fox TV. It's all a con, and they're in on the con. And the president and the government is the guy playing the three-con Monte. And the con is the news gets you to keep going, to keep losing your money until it's too late, and it's just when you're being scammed and they keep you on the phone, and they keep you on the phone for a reason because they're trying to make sure your check clears. And they don't want to hang up until the check clears, because if the check don't clear, then they're going to continue the grift, continue the scam until it does. And Trump was doing that by saying every day that there was a deal with Iran, there was a deal with Iran, and there was no deal. There was no even an inkling of a deal. And then when he finally got this deal that he's talking about now, he didn't show it. He didn't reveal what the details of the deal were for weeks, for a day, for days. And he didn't want anybody to know what was in the deal because it was such a bad deal. But you guys are all suffering, putting $5 a gallon in gas in your car and paying for what you pay for everything else that affects, and you're not making any more money than you were before. You're still making your hourly wage, so you're suffering. And when he says we have a deal to open the Strait of Hormuz and gas prices will come down, it's hard for you to say no deal. You're kind of forced into taking the deal, no matter how bad it is, and it's a bad deal. But you're forced. That's the grip. That's the scam. The scam was to make it where you were so desperate you would take it. You know, and that's what the scam artists do. When they call you and say your grandson is in jail and they need so much money for bail, or they need so much money for a lawyer, and you have to wire it right away. They put you in a pressured position where you have to do it, or else someone's going to suffer, which will be your grandson or whoever they're claiming to be, or whatever. And that's the point. If you don't take the deal with Iran, then the gas prices will go to $6. We could crash the world economy. It's all paced out to be a doomsday scenario, which we didn't have before Trump started the war. The strait was open, there was no problems, and we started and created the problems on our own. But we're blaming Iran for the problem. We're not blaming ourselves. It's not our fault. It's Iran's fault, which is a lot of crap. And, like I said before in CoCon 1, um, it's all a con to get crypto to be the world currency, which Trump and his family and all his mega billionaires are all heavily invested in. And it's counterfeit. It's counterfeit money. So they want you to buy it because it don't cost them anything to make. They can make as much as they want, and they can charge whatever they want for it. It's not like a dollar bill that has a one on it. It's any price they want to make on that bill. And that one bill that you have is different than the person standing next to you has. So there's no correlation. And you paid $1 for your bill, and this guy paid $10 or $100,000 for his bill. So it's totally out of this world, out of reality. But they're selling it to you with a gun to your head that if you don't buy it, the world economy is going to crash, and that's the narrative. The world economy is going to crash if you don't buy it. And that's the push. That's the scam. That's the grift. And the Supreme Court has given him a free pass. They've already said that the president can't be tried or stand trial for something that he does while he's in office. And that's what he's doing, and he's in office. So he can't stand trial for anything he does. He can never go to jail for what he does. And, it's just, you're giving him a free pass to ruin the world, ruin the country, and he's doing it all for Putin. He works for Putin. Putin put him in that place, and Putin benefits the most from cryptocurrency because the ruble is worth shit, you know, and he has all his illegal funds. Iran has illegal funds in crypto. Russia has illegal funds in crypto. North Korea has illegal crypto funds. China, all of them. So they're going to benefit greatly, and we're going to be a second-class citizen after this, and it's all going to be because of Trump and his greed and his the fact that he doesn't want pictures of him having sex with little girls out on the internet, and they're out there, and that's what they're using against him. They got him blackmailed. They got him wrapped around their finger because his ego can't let it happen. You know, he he's a narcissist. A narcissist never admit to making mistakes, and that's all they do is make mistakes. I mean, the the reflection pool where the paint is peeling off the bottom that they just painted, and the green water from the algae. And he said, "Oh, somebody sabotaged it." He didn't screw up by hiring the wrong company that had no idea of how to paint a pool in the first place and paid $15 million for it. That embarrassment didn't happen because somebody poured corrosive chemicals in the water and sabotaged his pool to make him look bad. That's how a narcissist works. They'll never say they committed a mistake. And Trump even said it on the podium. He said if J.D. Vance doesn't make a peace deal with Iran, he's going to get the blame. But if he does it good and we get a good deal with Iran, then Trump's going to take the credit. So Trump takes the credit and Vance gets the blame. Trump will never take the blame, because he's a narcissist. So, it's all grift, all scam. And the one who's going to lose the most is you, because your money's going to be gone. Uh, yeah. And once it's crypto, there's no cash anymore. There won't be any cash, and the cash you do have will be worthless. Uh, and that's why he wants the interest rates lower to make cash worthless. Cash is cheap, cash is worthless. With the interest rates high, cash is worth more, and it's more valuable. It's more expensive on the world. And if he lowers those interest rates prematurely when it's not warranted by the economy, he cheapens the dollar and makes room for crypto to take over. And with the oil, with all the countries buying their oil in crypto instead of U.S. currency, you know, it gets rid of U.S. currency, which is his problem. His problem is U.S. currency because it's so strong and so dominant in the world. It's very hard for him to take over with his crypto. So, and crypto is the big Ponzi scheme of the world. And so, and the problem is the news, all the papers, they're all in on the con. They're validating, they're doubling down on his bullshit. They don't bring up what I'm talking about. You'll never hear what I'm talking about in a newspaper because it's not part of their grift. They don't want that's the grift. They don't want to tell you the grift. When you call up something, somebody calls you up to scam you. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna play your grandson, so just play along." They're not gonna do that. They're gonna say, "I'm your grandson, and I'm stuck in jail, and I need money." That's the way they play it. They don't say, "Oh, by the way, I'm a fake grandson, but give me money anyway." Yeah, they're not gonna do that. So, it's just you're being scammed in a tremendous way, and it's all to line his pockets. It's all to line his pockets, and he doesn't want to be like Hoover. He's going to be a million times worse than Hoover. going to cause a depression that we've never seen in the history of the world. And it's going to be mass chaos throughout the world, not the country, the world. And, you know, and he don't care because he's going to profit from it. And that's all he cares about. And his ego is going to say, look how great I am. Look what I did. You know, and he's not going to care that everybody. He said he don't care about inflation. He loves inflation. He don't care about gas prices. He loves gas prices. That's what he said when they're high. He loves it because he's buying the oil stock and raising the price before he does. You know, and then selling it when it comes down. He knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of very smart people around him that are evil to the core. You know, and he's just a puppet. He's just manipulated. He's told what to do and how to do it, and he does it. You know, but you have to have no heart to do it, and that's what he doesn't have a heart. So you know, he wanted to screw his daughter Ivanka, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did. You know, and he's already said he wants to screw his daughter Ivanka. So I mean, what kind of piece of crap is that? You know. So and that's what he is. He's a piece of crap. You know. So I get to see that, but you know, it's just I don't know. All I can say is the ones who voted for him, you're gonna get what you deserve.